Here's your daily dose of history. These events all happened on May 25th. In 1660, exiled English king Charles II reassumes the throne in what is called the English Restoration. After the English Civil War years earlier, his father, Charles I, had been overthrown and executed by the parliamentarians. Charles II is one of the most interesting kings in Britain's history. He is the grandson of James I, who united the English and Scottish thrones after the death of Queen Elizabeth I. 2 years after his father's execution in 1649, Charles II fled to mainland Europe, where he spent the next 9 years in exile during the Interregnum, which is the period when Oliver Cromwell and the Roundheads controlled England. At the end of that failed experiment, Parliament invited Charles II to retake the throne. His marriage to Catherine of Braganza, the daughter of King John IV of Portugal, produces no living children. Charles II has, however, multiple mistresses and at least 12 illegitimate children from 7 of those mistresses. At his death in 1685 at age 54, his younger brother, James II, assumes the throne. Less than 4 years later, James II is overthrown during England's Glorious Revolution, and James's daughter, Mary II, and her husband, William of Orange of the Netherlands, become joint monarchs. Who do you think is Britain's most interesting monarch? Let me know in the comments. In 1915, large-scale deportations of Armenians begin in Turkey as part of the 8-year Armenian Genocide, which results in the deaths of an estimated 600,000 to 1.2 million people. In 1927, automobile pioneer Henry Ford makes headlines around the world by announcing that the Ford Motor Company is discontinuing production of its iconic Model T, nearly 19 years after the first one rolled off the assembly line. More than 15 million Model Ts were produced between 1908 and 1927, setting a worldwide automobile production record that is not surpassed until 1972 by the Volkswagen Beetle. In 1935, at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Babe Ruth hits his 714th home run, the last of his illustrious career, establishing a mark that is not surpassed for nearly 40 years. Ruth changed the game of baseball. Home runs were a rarity before Ruth. In 1918, he finished the season tied for the American League lead with a mere 11 home runs. The next year, Ruth hit 29. Second place had just 10. A year later in 1920, Ruth hit 54. The runner-up had only 19. Since then, there have been only 3 seasons where the American League leader did not have at least 30 home runs. 2 of those years are during World War II, and 1 is the strike-shortened 1981 season. Second place on the career home run list at the time of Ruth's retirement is Lou Gehrig, who had just 378 at that time. Gehrig finishes his career well behind Ruth with 493 home runs. Is Babe Ruth the greatest player in baseball history? Let me know what you think in the comments. In 1986, the charity event Hands Across America attempts to form a human chain from New York City to Santa Monica, California, raising $15 million for hunger relief. 5.5 million people participate, with each encouraged to donate at least $10. There are some gaps along the way, particularly in the southwestern desert, that are filled using ribbons, ropes, and banners. The lovely and talented Mrs. Lewis, who grew up in Santa Monica, actually participated in the event when she was just 11 years old. Probably the highlight of her life until she met me 10 years later. Did you participate in Hands Across America? Let me know in the comments. I did not, of course, since my home state of Utah was snubbed by the route. Don't forget to check out Today in History in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. There's a link in the description. Also, I'd love to know which of these events you found the most interesting? Please let me know in the comments. Also, I would truly appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. And there's another great Mr. Lewis video here and another one that you can find right here. Thanks for watching.